All right, let's try launch control. Hello there, fellas and ladies. Welcome back to Goodfellas Garage. Today I'm going to give you a quick tour of this 2019 BMW M850i. And the reason it's parked so far away behind me is because this car scares the living bejesus out of me.
Binky, any thoughts?
It scares the out of me.
I have borrowed this rocket ship on wheels from the friends of ours at Prime One Motorsports. They have one of the most unique and interesting car collections out there that they hand select from all across the United States. I will link the information down below. Check them out when you get a chance. Before we dive into this latest M850i, a quick history on the 8 Series BMW. The original E31 8 Series was available from 1990 until 1999, although sales have stopped in the United States in 1997. The car continued for 2 more years in Europe, and then BMW decided to cancel production. This was not the best seller for BMW. Factors such as bad economy and a high price tag really dictated the low sales for this model. The original 8 Series was only available as a coupe. There were no convertible versions nor M versions of the car. Although BMW did build one concept convertible and they did build one concept M8, however, they denied the existence of the M8 concept car for many years, and they finally revealed it in 2010. Let's start the tour with the exterior of this car. I personally like the way this car looks. It is really aggressive, especially in the front, and I really like the way the headlights are. The laser headlights are pretty cool in this car. And the surprising thing is that all the vents that you see up front and on the fenders are actually functional. The other touch that I really like in this car is the fact that it doesn't have all the carbon fiber trim, because in my opinion it has been overdone. You know, in the last few years everything has been carbon fiber or piano black trim. This car has a very nice bronze surround around the grille, the mirror caps, bronze wheels, and the bronze badges, and I personally think that's a really nice touch to the exterior. This particular car is finished in Barcelona blue metallic, and I honestly think that the pictures and videos don't do this color any justice. You really have to see this car in person to appreciate how good it looks. Unfortunately, the back end of the car is not as aggressive as the front, and I think they kind of tried to pay homage to the original 8 Series, but I would have liked to seen maybe a bigger spoiler or a more aggressive diffuser in this vehicle. But fortunately, there's aftermarket that can remedy the situation, or you can just go for an M8. From the side, this BMW really reminds me of an S550 Mustang. If you look closer, you can see very similar roofline and very similar flared quarter panels. One of the coolest features of this car on the outside has got to be the floating center caps. As you guys know, BMW owns Rolls-Royce, and this feature has finally made its way to BMWs. It's pretty cool. The only complaint that I have on the outside is right here. This is a $122,000 car as optioned, and BMW couldn't install a capless gas system in this vehicle. Come on, BMW. The interesting thing about this interior is when you first get in, you don't get that instant feeling of a high-performance car. The interior is extremely luxurious, and as you can see, this is a well-optioned car. It has a glass shifter option. There's some smoke wood trim, so it gives you that impression of a, you know, like a 7 Series or S-Class. But the minute you sit down in these seats, you understand how quick this car is. The seats are extremely grippy, the bolsters are adjustable, and they hold you in place very tightly. As you would expect from a BMW in this price point, this car is jam-packed with technology and features, but honestly, to me personally, I find some of the stuff to be a little bit gimmicky. This car has gesture controls where you can adjust the volume of your radio by moving your finger, but they don't necessarily work all the time, and there's some other gesture controls available. There's a lot of features that deal with driver assistance. However, again, I personally find them to be a distraction. I have most of them turned off. There's a feature here that I really enjoy and I really like, and that's the 360 camera and the front and rear cameras, which are absolutely fantastic. They're high resolution cameras, and I really like this view right here. It's very easy to park the car because the front lip is very low and you would scrape very easily, but this will prevent you from doing that, and this is one feature that I really like. The gauge cluster is of course a screen as you would expect from a BMW, and this screen is not as customizable as some of the screens in other models, which I kind of like because I get lost in all these options that everybody else is offering. However, it does change when you change to different modes, for example from sport to comfort, from comfort to eco, etc. The center of the screen is a map, and you can adjust the screen on the right by pressing this BC button right here, and you get some different options here. However, one thing to note is I personally do not like the way this tachometer looks. It is difficult to see the needle in the sport mode, and I don't like this upside down look. I'm starting to get used to it, but initially it was kind of a strange thing to look at. I wish they had the normal looking tach in the screen, or at least give you the option to change it. Wow, fellas, just wow. Anything negative that I said about this car in the beginning of this video, I take it all back. The minute you mash the throttle in this thing, all your problems, all your concerns just melt away, and oh my God, this thing is absolutely amazing. It sounds phenomenal. I love the crackles and pops this exhaust makes. The only gripe that I have is that I wish it was louder inside of the car. The cabin is really insulated, so you hear it, but you don't hear it as much. I have to be honest, fellas, I was skeptical about this car in the beginning. I was like, well, it's another M performance, how good can it really be? But this thing is from a different world. Under the hood is the N63 that is pushing 523 horses and 553 pound-feet of torque. I mean, these are some serious numbers. The M8 that is now available, it finally hit the market, is making 591 horsepower, and the M8 competition makes 617. I can only imagine how fast these cars are. I mean, the 0 to 60 is a little bit faster in the M8 and the M8 competition. This car makes it to 60 in about 3.5 seconds. The M8 in about 3.3, and the M8 competition in 3.2. But this is plenty of power. I am so amazed by this car. This is one of those luxury coupes that tricks you. It really does, because when you get into this car, the first impression is like, oh, it looks like a 7 Series kind of deal. It's an S-Class, SL coupe maybe, one of those, luxury coupes that you just take on a highway and you just cruise around. But it's a absolute sleeper, because the minute you touch the throttle, the minute you floor this thing, it turns into a complete animal. It is scary. It actually hurts when this car accelerates. This is how hard it pulls. And you don't feel that you are in a turbo car, because the power is instantaneous. I mean, there's no lag, there's none of that. And it doesn't feel like a four-wheel drive car. This car is more rear-wheel drive than all-wheel drive. And it's just, I am amazed that they were able to do this in a car of its size. And I am so impressed. I haven't been this impressed in a long time. God. Wow. What a ride. It handles fantastically. However, the steering is a little on the softer side. It's a little bit vague. I would have liked to see a bit more feedback from the steering, but that's just so minor. I mean, my God, what a great car. You guys need to subscribe to this channel and hit that like button, so maybe one of these days I can afford one when it's more attainable to guys like myself. God, this exhaust sounds amazing. It sounds like an American muscle car. It doesn't sound like a European cruiser at all. Wow. They really did an amazing job on this. And the only thing is that on the exterior, the exhaust tips, they're fake tips. You can see the exhaust pipes sticking out. There's aftermarket for that. You can remedy that, obviously. And they fixed that, with the M8 or the M8 competition has the quad tips. But the sound makes up for any flaws that this car has. Okay, one more launch. Oh my God. Jesus. Wow. numbers on the speedo climb extremely quickly. This car launches so hard. Jesus. Wow. I'm still trying to recover from that launch because it is a phenomenal feeling, and now I am starting to wonder about the M8 and the M8 competition. I really want to drive these cars and see if there's really that much difference between the M850i and the M8. I know that the M8 competition is almost 100 extra horsepower, so that would probably feel a lot faster, but I don't know, between the M850i and the M8, I don't know. Well, fellas, that's it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. You need to subscribe to this channel and smash that like button. I need to go and do some good fella stuff. Peace.